Congresswoman Claudia Tenney closes down her district offices due to threats of violence. In a news release, Tenney says, unfortunately, the team had to contact law enforcement on 3 separate occasions due to threats of violence and intimidation against the staff members. Tenney runs a satellite office out of Watertown, but it is closed due to the threats to the staff.